Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So in today's video, I want to talk about Bitcoin, give you guys an update what's happening with the crypto market. So before we get into this video guys, please go down below right now, give this video a quick little thumbs up, and it takes a few seconds. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing if you guys have not yet already. Every single day, almost every single day, right? I give you guys an update what's happening with Bitcoin, talk about what's happening around the crypto space. Okay, so if you guys are in fact investors into this market, and of course traders, please consider subscribing because I talk everything crypto. Okay, but yes, Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So yes, guys, a couple of days ago, okay, we did in fact see in Miami, I believe, okay, Bitcoin did in fact have its event, right? Pretty much every single year around May, okay, there's an event for Bitcoin, okay, mainly for Bitcoin. I guess you can say crypto as well, but mainly just for Bitcoin, okay, in Miami, okay. So I heard that this year in 2023, not much people actually showed up to that event. Not as much as last year in 2022, especially in 2021, right? But it looked like a fair few people did in fact attend. If I actually lived in America, I would have actually attended that event. But sadly, I live in Australia, but hey, it's all good. But yeah, Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin real quick, guys. Bitcoin, end of 2023. Okay, end of this year in 2023 will explode. And I want to explain why. And I've been telling you guys this many times. Okay, if you guys haven't seen my most previous video on Bitcoin, my personal price prediction for Bitcoin this year alone in 2023 is around 50K, around $50,000 to at least $50,000 plus. Okay. A lot of people think, okay, Bitcoin will most likely not hit that target, but a fair few people actually agree that Bitcoin will potentially reach 50 and over $50,000 towards the end of this year in 2023. So that's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. I want to show you guys a fair few charts indicating that Bitcoin will reach this price target towards the end of this year in 2023. So first of all, let me show you guys what Bitcoin is doing today. Still, not much movements with Bitcoin. Is still sort of stagnant and in a way consolidating. You guys can clearly see Bitcoin has not really been moving for the past few days, and it still isn't. It's still below $27,000, currently at 26.6K. Okay, so yes, Bitcoin has not really been moving for the past few days. You guys can clearly see that, which is good. Okay, that means we can accumulate more. It's time to buy more and whatnot, because we are still in the accumulation stage, guys. Okay, we really are. We all should be at least accumulating, buying, and at least dollar cost averaging. Okay, we really should be DCAing right now into Bitcoin. Okay, if you miss buying Bitcoin at $20,000, I think right now is a great time to buy Bitcoin. Okay, to buy some Bitcoin, right? If you miss these price targets right down here, when Bitcoin was in fact at $20,000, like I said, even when Bitcoin was at its bottom back in November and December, when it was pretty much hovering between $17,000 to $16,000, mainly 16K. Okay, and at one point, yes, Bitcoin did go below $16,000, and thank God I invested at that time when I saw Bitcoin below 16K. If you miss these price targets, buying Bitcoin at these price targets, I think right now, okay, buying at this level, because you guys can clearly see it's consolidating for the past few days. It has not been moving. Okay, I think right now is a great time to buy some Bitcoin because our next leg up will in fact happen. Okay, short term, yes, Bitcoin could potentially go back down to $25,000, which is this line right here. Okay, maybe even $24,000, maybe potentially, right? But it won't go back down to $20,000. I think that's very unlikely for Bitcoin to hit that low of a price target. Okay, it really is, especially during this time. And I've told you guys many times why. But you guys can clearly see that the crypto market today is in fact in the reds. Bitcoin is slightly dropping. Okay, you guys can clearly see that for the past few hours. Bitcoin is dropping. You guys can clearly see that, right? So it's dropping. At one point, Bitcoin was actually above $27,000. Yesterday was actually above 27k, but you guys can see today it is in fact slightly dropping. So that's causing the entire market to pretty much drop as well. The global crypto market cap today is currently at 1.11 trillion, and overall the market is down 1.8%, almost 2%. Okay, so you guys can see Bitcoin is down 2.1%. Okay, Ethereum is down 1.3%, and a fair few altcoins for the past 24 hours are in fact down as well. You guys can clearly see that, right? So it is in fact a red day today, but nothing too crazy, nothing too major. Okay, this is just a regular day, in the market, right? This is not a crash or anything like that we are in fact seeing right now, obviously. Okay, I feel like a lot of new investors and traders think this is a crash, but it really isn't, right? I have seen worse, way worse. Okay, especially last year in 2022. We'll see Bitcoin drop like 7%, even at some point 11% for the past 24 hours, and a lot of altcoins will be down like over 15%, right? So this is literally nothing, guys. Okay, but let me show you guys a fair few charts. I want to show you guys 3 charts that is really important. Starting off with this one. So short term, this is where I see Bitcoin heading, right? And I'm pretty sure you guys can, agree with me. Bitcoin right now is in fact forming a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, it really is. So here's the shoulder, here's the head, and here's the shoulder, and this is like the neckline. So it kind of is looking like it's forming a head and shoulders pattern. Pretty much it is. Okay, and we are in fact seeing Bitcoin have this resistance line and the support level right now, because it really isn't moving, right? So the next target, okay, and I agree with this. Okay, I 100% agree with this chart, and I told you guys this many times. Okay, the target zone right here is around $24,000, $25,000 to $24,000. Okay, this is short term, like I said. So if Bitcoin does in fact drop, which most likely maybe it will, okay, we will in fact see Bitcoin drop to about 25,000 to 24k, maybe 23k, maybe, okay, if it gets worse. But for Bitcoin to reach $20,000, it's just very unlikely to happen. Okay, so short term, guys, yes, Bitcoin might have a little small correction down to the downside, okay, but it's not gonna drop down below $20,000, back down to its previous lows, for an example, back down to like 15 to 16k, right? It's just very unlikely to happen. So yes, short term, we could potentially see Bitcoin drop below the 23k, but we will see. Okay, it might hit 25k to 24k, maybe even 23k. Okay, but I'm gonna stick with 25k and 24k. That's just my personal opinion, right? You guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys see Bitcoin in the next few weeks, in the next few months, right? Let me know, because if Bitcoin does drop, I think it's just going to drop slightly back down to 25 to 24k, and then after that it's just going to have another leg up, right? And it could potentially consolidate at that price target, at that price level, for a couple more days, or a couple more weeks, just like what it's doing right now. Okay, in between 26k and 27k. So we will see. But here's an important one that I really want to show you guys: the Bitcoin cycle theory. I like this a lot. I really do. So I want to show you guys this. The Bitcoin investment cycles will disappear. This is why this could happen. The bull run phases of Bitcoin have been primarily triggered, okay, by halving events in the past, approximately every 4 years. Okay, the number of newly mined Bitcoins is reduced by a factor of 2, as indicated by the yellow circle boxes in the chart. However, this effect will diminish over time as the absolute reduction of mined Bitcoin becomes smaller. So pretty much every year, we know, every time the Bitcoin halving event happens, every 4 years, the mining reduces. Okay, it becomes smaller, which makes Bitcoin, I guess, more scarce, and of course the price will in fact rise. That's why, guys, every time we have a halving event for Bitcoin, we see a halving event for Bitcoin, it always tends to reach up like crazy. Okay, that's where we see the most pumps. Okay, and that's why I always talk about the next halving event, that's happening for Bitcoin. next year in 2024, literally pretty much exactly a year from now, or less than a year from now, around April to May. Okay, so as a result, the potential for future bull runs may be less pronounced, but they are likely to last longer at the same time. However, the next bull run, which is most likely to start end of 2023, end of this year in 2023, remember that, will be similar to the last ones, okay, to our previous ones. So you guys can clearly see this chart really just show you guys, okay, the previous halving events for Bitcoin during the years. Okay, you guys can clearly see every time we have the halving event, Bitcoin goes up like crazy. Okay, it really does. Okay, so 2012, what happened? Okay, we saw Bitcoin absolutely pump up. Okay, and then 2016, 2017, we saw Bitcoin pump as well like crazy. And then it went back down. And then we know what happened in 2021. Towards the end of the year in 2020 and in 2021, we know what happened. Okay, in 2021, that's when Bitcoin absolutely shot up, reaching a new all-time high. And not just Bitcoin, but other altcoins. Right? That was a great year for crypto in general. It really was, because that's when we were in fact in a bull market. And then of course in 2022, we saw Bitcoin absolutely drop down. And then of course 2023, Bitcoin is slightly forming a new pattern up to the upside from this falling wedge that it has in fact been forming all of 2022, right? So that's great to see that Bitcoin is in fact, breaking out from that falling wedge, forming a new pattern to the upside. So that's great to see. Okay, and 2024 is coming up. That's going to be our next halving event, and that's when we will in fact see Bitcoin pump, reaching a new all-time high. And I think Bitcoin will easily reach, over $200,000, maybe even 300K. Call me crazy, but I think that's very possible for Bitcoin to reach this high price target, right? It really is. So we will see. Okay, we will see. And of course, once the 2024 halving event happens, our next one's going to be the year 2028. Okay, and that's when we could potentially see Bitcoin, reach close to $1 million, or over $1 million. Okay, we will see. But I love this chart. You guys can clearly see it just really does indicate every single time we have the halving event for Bitcoin, that's where it pumps the most. Okay, it really does. So be excited for that for all my Bitcoin holders out there. And of course, the countdown is less than a year from now. So be excited. Okay, it's still a great time right now to accumulate. It gives us time, pretty much less than a year to, load up on Bitcoin before it absolutely skyrockets. Okay, and this is how you make money in crypto, guys, right? Pretty much. Okay, if you guys want to invest, if you guys don't want to trade, right, this is how you make money. Okay, you got to buy in the bears, right, in the bear market. Okay, when it's low, when not a lot of people are talking about it, when people are talking down on Bitcoin, saying it's a scam, it's going to go to like $0, that is when, guys, you want to buy. Okay, that is when exactly you want to buy. And then when it's pumping, okay, like crazy, we're entering the next bull market. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin. News articles, news channels are talking about Bitcoin and whatnot. Okay, that is pretty much when you want to sell. Okay, so that's that. That's all I'm gonna say. Right. One more time, I want to show you guys. So far, Bitcoin is following exactly this blueprint. So you guys can clearly see this is another great chart. 2015. Back in 2015 and 2018, okay, we saw different phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. History does rhyme. History does, repeat itself in ways, okay, but doesn't 100% repeat itself, okay. But you guys can clearly see that it looks like Bitcoin is going to repeat the same blueprint what it did back in 2015 and 2018, which is great to see, right? You guys can clearly see we already completed phase 1 and sort of phase 2, okay. It's on a sideways right now. It's pretty much consolidating, just like what it did in 2016. You guys can clearly see that, right? So phase 3, phase 4, okay, phase 4 is going to be, when it goes absolutely parabolic and reach a new all-time high. And most likely that's going to be when the Bitcoin halving event happens, right? Which it will be. Okay, and of course phase 5, who knows what's going to happen. It could shoot down or could slightly have a small correction and just consolidate like what it did back in 2018. Okay, so we will see, but so far Bitcoin is looking good, guys. Okay, when in doubt, you just gotta really zoom out on the Bitcoin chart and you will realize that Bitcoin is still holding up really well. Okay, it really is. Short term, yes, it's really volatile. There's a lot of ups and downs, but long term, okay, if you look at the entire Bitcoin chart, if you really zoom out and just realize that we are okay, Bitcoin is still holding up really, really well. Okay, so that's that. Now, let me give you guys an update on the Fear and Greed Index. It's been a couple of days since I gave you guys an update on this. So before I end this video, let me go ahead and give you guys a little update on this. So right now we're currently at 49, which is in neutral. Now, we know once this Fear and Greed Index hits 55, we will in fact be in greed mode, right? So yesterday we were in fact in 52, so almost in greed mode, almost at 55, but not quite, and then it dropped to 49. And that's because obviously, the markets are in fact dropping. Okay, but we're still holding up really well. Okay, we are in fact in neutral. Okay, yesterday we were neutral, like I said. Last week we were neutral, and last month we were in fact in neutral as well. So at least we're not in fear mode, and of course extreme fear mode, because I feel like we've been seeing that a lot for the Fear and Greed Index back in last year in 2022, because that's when we're in fact in a bear market. So it's good to see a change, right? Neutral. Okay, that's way better than fear mode. Okay, so that being said, everyone's still 50-50. Okay, everyone's not really fearful right now, and we shouldn't be. Okay, so that's great to see. That's great news right there. But in the next few months or so, less than a year from now, this is gonna change just to greed, right? It's gonna change to greed and extreme greed. So be excited for that. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I really would appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a good one, guys.